Are you tired of dealing with sentry nests stonewalling your team? Do you just hate light classes in particular? Do you despise anything that flies? Well, fear not then, dear viewer, the direct miss is for you. First, let's go over some background history of the weapon. The direct miss, also known by its normal name, the direct hit, was added in the War Update way back in 2009 and is one of the 3 weapons the administrator gives a soldier in order to kill his best friend, the Red Demo Man, according to the comics. The weapon has remained virtually unchanged ever since, undergoing effectively no balance changes. Now, let's go over some statistics of the weapon. The direct hit can be obtained by reaching 11 total soldier achievements, so it is relatively easy to get. Compared to stock, this thing seems overpowered. I mean, look at all that blue text. 80% faster rockets, 25% more damage, mini crits airborne targets. This thing must be broken.
Wait, what? Why am I not killing anything? This weapon sucks.
Well, you see, that is why it's called the direct hit. Unlike other soldier weapons, this one requires you to actually aim.
But isn't the whole point of playing soldier is to play as brain dead as possible?
Yes, but this weapon completely flips how you normally play soldier on its head. Instead of aiming vaguely in the direction of their feet, praying for a random crit like the silly freelance grade you know you are, you have to actually aim your crosshair at the enemy in order to damage them. Crazy, I know. Now, that 25% more damage is actually really important because it allows you to one-shot all light classes from close range. And Vitasaw medics at point blank for some reason, because Valve. That extra damage makes dealing with buildings extremely easy, because effectively, any and all engineer buildings are 2-shot, so that means you can just go on ahead and make the life of engineers on the other team actual hell. However, the 80% faster projectile speed could either be really good or really crippling. It depends on how good you are at the game and if you can adapt to the vastly different speeds of the rocket. Normal rockets travel rather slowly, at a paltry speed of only 1100 hammer units per second, while the direct misses rockets travel at a speedy 1980 hammer units, which makes it really fast, just barely outsped by the flares of the flare gun. This means not only can you deal ludicrous amounts of damage, but you can also deal it really fast. That is, of course, if you can aim. Stock rockets being fired from a distance of, say, this side of Swiftwater to over here take way longer to reach that point compared to direct hit rockets. The 70% explosion radius reduction forces you to go for directs, hence the name of the weapon. And if you miss, which you most likely will, you will die, hence the nickname. Now, let's look at some gameplay tactics of the weapon. The direct misses faster rockets and higher damage allows you to kill light classes easily, especially scouts who are normally rather difficult to deal with considering how slow stock's rockets are. When fighting scouts, try to aim your crosshair slightly in front of where the scout is moving towards. This to account for the fact that your rockets are not hit scanned and still have a travel time, however slight it may be. Actually, this aiming style applies to all classes. It's just more useful against scouts because of their faster movement speed and their inherent squishiness. Pairing shotguns with a direct hit is a very common thing for most people to do, as it is a reliable fallback option if they're bad at video games, as most people are crippled and need a crutch. In the case that you are in fact in need of a crutch, I shall provide you with some flavors of crutch, so you can pick one that suits your fancy. The stock shotgun.
I mean, it's alright, like...
It's a little slow for my taste, but it's not a bad pick, by no means. The reserve shooter. I hear it has really good DPS combined with the direct hit on airborne targets, as it turns you into an anti-aircraft gun. However, I myself have not tried it, and I'm probably not good enough to make it work. The panic attack.
It's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Actually really good, especially against demos and pyros. Useful in a pinch, I find. Speaking of secondaries, let's cover the rest of them while we're at it, shall we? The gunboats. They serve the same purpose as with stock. It's not much of a change there. The man-treads. You barely notice you're wearing them up until a pyro shows up and tries to air blast you, leaving both of you confused as to why you didn't fall off the cliff. The conqueror, or the conjurer, or the conch, or the conch, or however you want to pronounce it. I don't care. That extra passive healing isn't really that important if you ask me, but the speed boost is quite nice. Battalion's backup. Soldier's best secondary, without a doubt. It has amazing utility and really helps your team, especially in VSH. You know, that dead game mode that no one plays anymore. Righteous Bison. It's a meme. Don't use it. The base jumper. It makes you become the target instead of the other way around. It's not very useful. Another thing you should know is that the increased speed makes hitting air shots on airborne targets such as yourself when equipping the base jumper way easier. Oh yeah, the mini-crits targets launched airborne by explosions, grapple hooks, or rocket packs thing is just an extra bonus to screw over that unlucky bastard who decided to rocket jump in your general vicinity that day. That is, of course, if you can aim. Speaking of mini-crits, pairing this weapon with the buff manner is straight up cyberbullying. Mini-crit direct hit rockets deal a hefty 152 damage at maximum fall-off, and a maximum of 189 at close range. And, since mini-crits are not affected by damage fall-off beyond 152 damage, this means not only can you one-shot all light classes, medics, and gunslinger engineers at any range, you can also two-shot fully overhealed soldiers and heavies at close range. Like I said, cyberbullying. Now, this may all seem overpowered, but need I remind you of this?
No, 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 no.
That's right, the ability to liquidate your enemies on land, sea, it works underwater too, and especially air, at your fingertips, all for the low price at being good at video games. And yet, this weapon is considered one of the most balanced in the game. By most people. Why is that? The reason being that you trade the stock rocket launcher's reliable and consistent splash damage, perfect for dealing damage to large crowds and capable of blasting them away if you're on low health, for something that can only kill one target really fast, but really punishing if you miss. Really punishing. This weapon is the epitome of get good scrub, and requires immense amount of skill to utilize to its fullest potential. This is why it is mostly seen on soldiers who are really good at the game, the ones that hit nearly every shot they fire. These god gamers usually have most of their hours on soldier, and have a pocket medic attached to their ass, and tend to pub stomp every single casual server they join, usually high tower, as it is populated by soldiers who have no idea how to rocket jump. Or they're filthy cheaters. Probably cheaters. But hey, what do I know? And that's how you use the direct miss. Tune in next time, as I probably won't continue this as a series as I get beaten to death by iNoToRiOuS himself. If he finds out, that is. Though, if you do want to see more, comment which one you want to see next. That's all for now. Later, gamers.